Welcome back. Welcome back. In this video here, we are going to just show some examples of how this market can open. Y'all just kind of keep in mind that there are only three directions for real. This thing is either going to go up, down, or sideways. Remember, sideways is something that we don't want to trade. We don't have to trade every day. Kind of keep that in mind. So the days that the moving averages tell us that, hey, this is going to be a sideways market, we have to trust and believe that, okay? It is just not worth trading. If you come in here and you start trying to trade those days, I promise one thing, it'll become a habit, and it'll become a bad habit, and it'll be one that is really hard to break. So if you come right in the gate and you do not create these bad habits, then you don't have any bad habits to break, okay? We already have enough bad habits that we have to break just being in the market, and so you don't want to create more for yourself. All right, and so we're just going to go ahead and look at this naked chart here, and then I am going to add the moving averages back for certain days. But today is May 23rd, 2025. Yep, 2025. All right, and so we're just going to look at this, and again, it's the same thing. So we're just on the MES, same thing, same as the SPY, same as the ES. It's just a smaller contracts. And so for any option traders, this works in the options market as well. This isn't just for the futures market. You can trade the S&P 500 in options with the same criteria and get the same results, probably even better, because options, you'll have access to your money a lot faster. Options is just another market that you can trade here, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. But let's look at the pre-market for the 23rd today, which is, what's today? Wednesday. Yep, Wednesday the 23rd. All right, and so what we see down here is what we call a reversal pattern. If we see a pattern in this market that looks like the letter W, that is going to be a reversal to the upside, right? And so all you really got to do here, when you have what's called a double bottom in that pre-market here, remember that gray shaded area is the pre-market. So before this market even opens up at 9:30 Eastern time, we already have an idea of what's about to happen. All right. And so, y'all, only one of the two things is going to happen here, or three, right? It can go sideways, that's for sure. But usually one or two things is going to happen here. It'll either run into this area of resistance. Remember, this is resistance. Remember to use your red and green boxes too. It just makes it a lot easier to remember what type of area that is. And remember, resistance acts as a ceiling. So price goes up and it cannot break this ceiling. And so it's going to fall back down, because this is where the sellers are. So that red box is going to represent the sellers here. And so when this market opens up and it goes from gray to black, at that point, then we can go ahead and say, all right, are we going up or down? Are we breaking this area of resistance right here? Or are we respecting it? Okay, if we were respecting it, the market would come right up to this level here, right around 57.80, and then turn around. You'll start seeing signs of reversal to the downside. All right, and so if this area of resistance was going to hold and be an area of, of interest, where we're like, hey, we want to see if that runs into that and then turns around, we just have to wait. That's where your patience is going to come in. Now, that's why patience is super, super important here. Because if you can wait for the market to just give you the trade, then you can just take it. Like, it really isn't rocket science for real. So this very first candle, y'all, it bounced on what's called a neckline. All right. So this middle part of that double bottom, it's called a neckline. All right. We want to see that neckline get broken, and we also want to see it retest from the other side as a new area of support. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a green box here, showing our new area of support. This was resistance in the pre-market. This is support in the regular market. Do not overcomplicate this. It ain't much, much harder than that for real. If you're going to get in on this candle here, your stop needs to be below this candle here, just in case you're wrong about direction. So you're entering here, your stop is here, and your target could have been somewhere up here. Okay. I had made, I think it was like 1,000 or 1,400, and I just had two contracts, and it ran straight into this area here and was done. So I didn't even need it to run all the way up here. And so But yeah, if you want to catch all of that, if you can, stand to stay in that market, let me show you how to get out. If you are going to stay in, you can just pop a little trend line right up under that price. You want to kind of support that price up. Whenever that trend line breaks, you might want to go ahead and exit. All right, let me go ahead and extend that to the right a little bit. This is going to be support right there. That is going to be support. It'll support that price back up. Right here, it broke and it came back and it retested as resistance here. Okay. So this is where you could have gotten out and you could have caught all of that just based off of that trend line, based off of the fact that this is a double bottom here. Looks like the letter W, and it is a reversal pattern, usually to the upside. All right. Now, again, if this thing doesn't work out and it fails, you'll usually see that right up in here where you'll start seeing white candles and then you'll see it fall. So you'll see this pattern fail. But when this pattern doesn't fail, it's usually the move to the upside. So this was today. Let's look at yesterday. Yesterday was kind of choppy, right? Let's add those moving averages back and take a look at the moving averages. Remember that when the moving averages, the 10 and the 200, if they're going straight through price, you might not want to trade that, right? It'll tell you, hey, you're not going to have a good day today, right? And so you see how the moving averages are shooting straight through price like that. You have to be patient enough to say, hey, this thing is kind of choppy. It's going up and down. I don't think I want to trade this. I don't think I want to lose my money today. If you don't make that decision, the market will make it for you and it won't be, one that you're approving of. And then you'll just do it so many times and then get tired and, choose to sit out. So just start that from the beginning. Just go ahead and choose to sit out. You don't have to trade every day. You can make enough to just trade once or twice a week for real. All right, so let's look at this day right here. All right, so pre-market, right? This is the 5-minute chart. Let's look at our area of resistance here on this trend line. So that's all we got to do. This is resistance right here. That is resistance right here. This is resistance right here. It should have been resistance here, but it was not, which means that it is support on the other side. Don't overcomplicate this. As soon as you start overcomplicating this and start overwhelming your brain, it's going to shut down. It's going to just say no. It's not going to agree to anything that you're trying to do. Come in here, relax. Make sure that you're focused, relaxed. Make sure that you're not bored. I think that's one of the emotions that a lot of people skip over here in this market. Boredom is an actual emotion. If you get bored here, you'll start jumping in and out of this market. So be really careful of that. Keep it super, super simple. Catch your money, right in that very first trade. Even if this comes down and you didn't catch your target up here, it pulled back. And even if your stop loss was under this candle here, it still did not pull back to that stop. And so it would have hit your target if you were shooting for a decent amount. All right. So resistance, 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 support. All right. Keep it simple. The 5-minute chart isn't as hard to trade as most people like to think it is. It's just super, you just got to be kind of disciplined for real. So, and becoming disciplined improves your real life. Yeah, it does. So, shoot for it for real. Start giving yourself disciplines that you've already been trying to kind of reach and you haven't in the past. Go ahead and try to reach them now because this one will be right behind it. Look how choppy this market is. Look how those moving averages are going straight through price. You cannot trade this. The moving averages are a direct indication of, you may want to stay the hell up out of here, right? And I'm telling you right now, you might want to go ahead and trust it from the beginning, because if you don't, you are just going to build bad habits that are going to be hard to break. This is choppy as hell. We do not know if this is going up, down, left. It's just going left to right. Moving average is going straight through price. Stay out of here. I cannot express that enough. We do not need to trade every day. All right. Now let's see a really easy day, right? So this is what I mean when I say the moving average is going straight through price. No worries, because the very next day is going to be an even better day. It is. Because they take all their money back when the moving averages go straight through price like that. And so the next day they'll let you get it back. All right. All right. So this is going to be resistance right here. It's easy to make money in this market too, y'all. It's not that easy to keep it. Greed levels, kind of kick in and things like that. And it's just not that hard to keep it. So these are all areas of resistance here. All of these are areas of resistance. And so just watch these areas right here. Watch this area, this trend line right here. The market opens up and it respects this trend line. Then guess what? It's going to go down because every other time it came and it respected, it went down, right? All right. And so if it breaks that trend line, then guess what? You got you a move to the upside. We also got a double bottom right here in this pre-market, y'all. Them double bottoms in the pre-market is everything. The double bottoms and the double tops. All right. So let's go ahead and like that. We got a double top right here. That very first candle broke straight through. This candle right here retested, which means that this area that used to be resistance, I'll make that red, it had just now turned into support. All right. And so remember that resistance turns into support. Support turns into resistance. Take the trade. You got to learn to trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you'll sit here and hesitate until this market is all the way up here. And then you'll be like, you know what? It looks like this is about to go up. That won't work here. All right. It is execution or nothing. All right. It is super simple like that. Resistance should remain resistance. It did not right here. It turned into support on the other side. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let's go to the day before. Oh, another way you could have traded this day too was pretty simple. You could have put a, let me show you. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. I'm going to take those moving averages off real quick. I just feel like they be in a way. I don't like moving averages too much. Now, I will use it at the beginning of the day to kind of see what they're saying. Other than that, I like my chart super clean so I can see price. Price is king for real. Volume is king. So let's look at this right here. Just this double bottom right here with the resistance. If you see how this is a double top, you see how that double top did not complete. If that double top would have completed, then we would have had the market breaking below this level right here. And it wasn't. It's just bouncing off of it as support as well. So that's another way to tell that this thing is going straight up. And you want to catch those big days like that. They're really nice. All right, let's look at one more. I don't want to have this video too long. It's already at 12 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and look at market structure here. Go ahead and put a trend line on that pre-market, just like that. All right, and so let me just open that up just a little bit. This would have been a little choppy. I'm going to add the moving averages back because I'm pretty sure at least the 10 is going straight through price. I don't know where Big Daddy is, but let's see. Yeah, going straight through price. And so it's letting you know that it's real choppy. Now, sometimes when this market opens up, even if the moving averages start out going straight through price, they don't always stay that way. So sometimes what you can do, if you got enough patience, you can wait until it breaks out of that area that is consolidating in and then try to take the trade. So if you would have waited right here, you could have let that broke out and then bam, in the middle of the day, you could have taken this trade here to the upside, but you would have had to sit here all day. Most people do not have that kind of patience for real. So don't get it twisted. If it's consolidating at the beginning of the day, the moving averages are going straight through and it's letting you know that, go ahead and trust that. All right, that way we're not just blowing money. I am going to go ahead and end that here. Oh, let me just go ahead and show you the resistance on this one here, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this one. Now that's just a little bit choppy up in there. You would have got confused just a little bit, but that was resistance over there, and then this turns into support here on the other side of that trend line. Okay, so it's just one trend line every day, y'all. The market is either going to be clean or it's going to be ugly, right? On the days that it's real clean, it's giving you real good, indication right at the jump. The moving averages aren't close together, sliding straight through price like that. You want to trust those days, and you really want to kind of capitalize on those days. Days like this, just sit out, all right? They're just not worth it. I'll see you guys in the next video.